Hey, Katelyn.
Hey, Evan.
So I'm going to start off the podcast with a very difficult and complex question.
Okay.
A question that I don't even know how to formulate yet, so let's work through it.
Okay.
And if you can't answer it, we'll figure it out together.
Okay.
But after 5 years on YouTube,
Yes.
190 main channel videos,
Yes.
over 300 gaming videos,
Okay.
220 supporter videos, 82 podcast episodes, and now 9 second channel videos, plus even more crafting streams and clips and etc. Do you feel secure in our identity as YouTubers?
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. Let's talk about that. Isn't it guys?
Do you not?
Let's talk about it. I'm going to do the outline first.
Okay. Okay.
We're going to talk about a whole bunch of things, reflect on the 5 years of our careers on YouTube, big changes in our life and work and stuff like that, the future of the podcast. But yeah, I had this question in my head, and I've been trying to formulate how to ask it to you. Mm-hmm. While I was preparing this podcast, I honestly spent 20 minutes just trying to think of how to start this episode.
Yeah.
And it's weird because I totally feel like I understand so much about YouTube, so much about content creation, so much about running a business around that and stuff too. But at the same time, it still kind of feels like we're making this all up.
True.
And it kind of feels like we're just living our life and filming it, and people like that somehow.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of it's still, after 5 years, I'm secure in the business that we have.
Yeah.
And in everything that we're doing and everything. But it still just hasn't fully clicked with me that this is what we're doing as our job.
I mean, it definitely does feel weird to me. So I do have moments of I kind of take a step outside myself, and I look at a snapshot of what me or you or the two of us are doing in any given moment, and I'm like, it is weird that this is our job. And it's not just when we're doing the obviously weird things some of our projects, but
or just here at this desk playing games.
Yeah, it's this
anything.
is weird that this is our job.
And I think another thing hit me the other day. We're going to talk about how our work-life balance has gotten a little bit better, which is thank goodness, in a little bit. But the other day, I wanted to make some personal time for me outside of work. Mm-hmm. And what did I choose to do?
You made a project.
I'll maybe show you guys some portion of it later, but I didn't want to film it or anything like that. I just wanted to go out there and make something.
Yeah.
And it's honestly pretty awesome. But I think that was another moment for me. It's we are just doing what we want, what we love, and somehow that's
we now
work.
can just justify the time and cost it takes to do projects.
All sorts of crazy things.
Yeah,
and
that is true.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. Now, the most work part of our days is the actual work part at the computer, doing that, coordinating, editing, uploading, all this stuff. Probably about I think we were talking the other day, 25% of our work is creating content.
Maybe something
20?
like that. Yeah.
Maybe something like that.
So much more of it is all the other stuff.
All the other stuff, yeah.
Which every time we create a piece of content, we're creating a bunch of other to-dos for ourselves. So just filming a video, it's okay, well, now we need to process the footage. It either needs to be edited by me or one of the editors. We need to make a thumbnail for it. We need to, if it's a sponsored video, a lot of ours are, then we need to get sponsor approval and film the ad, write the ad, film the ad, edit the ad, get sponsor approval.
The whole process.
We got to upload it. We got to do the metadata.
We've gotten pretty good at it. We know how to do it.
But filming one video produces a lot of to-dos.
Yeah.
I don't really know where I was going with that. Oh yeah, I guess I was just talking about the percentage of our work. It kind of depends on the projects. Honestly, if all we did was our main channel videos, I wonder if it would be different because those videos take so much longer to produce.
Yeah.
Than the other content that we make. So for those, we might spend, maybe it would be 50-50
Yeah.
working on the project itself versus all the other things.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think it's also interesting. I was listening to, I'm kind of going completely off script, but
Cool.
I think I'm trying to embrace it. We have an outline here. I'm just kind of going off the rails. I was listening to another podcast, Colin and Samir. I don't know their full story, but they do a lot of deep dives with other YouTubers about other YouTubers' channels. And I was listening to them interview MKHD and, MKBHD. We
A lot of letters.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Marquez. And he was saying that, at his core, the main thing that he brings is like, he's like the idea generator and stuff like that. And I think that, since there's the two of us and we do have editing help now, which we're going to talk about some, but like, I think maybe because there's so many different aspects of our job, not just the content creation, but also like the ideation and the like running the business and everything like that. I think that might be why I don't like fully feel like a YouTuber, because so much of our job is the other parts of it. I don't know.
It's interesting. I just think of all those
all
other
that being
parts as part of it, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but like, it sounds kind of weird to say. I feel like I have, what's the best way to word this? In terms of like being a YouTuber,
Yeah.
I kind of feel like I've had like whatever reverse imposter syndrome is. Like I've been oddly overconfident from the beginning. Like when we first decided we were going to start a channel, we were just like, yeah, we'll just start a channel.
Yeah.
I don't know if we just didn't do enough research into how difficult that is.
Yeah.
Like we knew it would be a lot of work. But we were just like, yeah, we'll just start making videos and someone will watch them, and then I think I remember feeling like a YouTuber after we hit 100K, like 100,000 subs.
I was like, okay, we're doing it.
That was like a pretty big milestone. Whereas before that, it felt like we were still kind of trying to become a legit channel.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
That's kind of when it started feeling like it for me. And it's just grown as we've figured out, like what's the suite of channels we want to do? What various types of content do we want to make? Because back then we were just doing like DIY maker videos on one channel.
Now we have a lot more.
Now we have a lot more, and we're doing a lot of different types of content. So.
And I've always believed in us, believed in the channel, believed in the success of what we're doing. I think I kind of had more confidence in it earlier than you. You were like, you didn't have any hesitations, but you're always like, I wonder how long this is going to last for a while.
Oh, yeah. Well, I still have that, but that's different. Wondering how long it's going to last is more thinking about the factors that you don't have control over. It's like, will our video style just become like dated and people don't want to watch it anymore?
Yeah.
Will YouTube change its algorithm to favor something that doesn't work with our content type?
Yep.
Like, is there going to be some crazy, law that comes into place where now YouTube is legally responsible for all the words said on its platform. And so it just like, kicks off 95% of its creators just to be safe, so when I have those moments of like not knowing what things are going to look like in 5 years or whatever, it's more the stuff out of our control, but it's not really about like me not feeling like a YouTuber or like I, am legit or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah. You know what? I kind of missed these podcasts, just chatting with you about like all these like things. Cause like we talk all the time about all of this constantly. But it's kind of fun, like bringing up some of these topics and
also
working through our feelings with you guys.
Well, and then we have like we're capturing a moment in time.
Yeah.
I feel.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so too. It's crazy looking back at some of our podcasts. Man, when I watch the podcast of me after appendicitis, I'm like, oh my gosh, I was like
You were
barely there.
Yeah, you were out of it.
I was so out of it.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I don't know why I thought it'd be a good idea
I
to
don't
do a
know.
podcast when I was like so out of it. But hey, it's interesting looking back on everything. One of the reasons why I personally didn't want to do a podcast for a bit is because for a while there, I felt like, and this is just me personally saying this. You can speak on it. Well, too. I'd love to hear your thoughts. But like, I kind of thought for a while there we were saying the same things to you guys and to our audience of like, hey, we're gonna get this out of control bus in control. We are going to start taking more personal time. We are gonna figure all of these things out. And I think that we've been like saying that for like 3 years.
Yeah.
Especially like a lot on this podcast.
And it probably seems like more to us than even to you guys because we brought it up in, some of the podcast episodes, but to each other or like to our families.
Oh yeah.
We've mentioned that we
to
talk
our
about
families,
it a lot.
Yeah,
we sound like broken records. We just got to get a handle on things. Then we're really going to take some
working
time
this
off.
weekend. No, we can't make it to that or whatever.
We're just in extra rush mode. Sorry, we're going to have to,
Yeah, this opportunity came up and we just had to go for it, or there's this idea that we just got to rush on or something.
We just got real behind, the project took a turn and
yeah. And I think that like I just kind of didn't want to like, I don't know.
Didn't want to talk about this kind of stuff till we actually
had some
change to report.
And everything.
Yeah.
So
I wonder when the last time we talked about that was. Probably around the time we were moving, because like the only podcast between moving and now were appendicitis and getting sick with.
And every time we did like our yearly goals. Remember we used to do yearly goals for a while, like.
Yeah.
2018, 2019 goals and stuff.
I don't know why I laughed like that. Yeah, we did.
Hey, a lot of those goals we hit.
Yeah, we did.
We did good stuff.
We did.
Yeah, so I think we have made those changes. But before we get there, let's talk about how the channel's changed over the years.
Yeah?
Yeah. So I think I'm going to need a lot of your memory for this because I have a bad memory for time and years and stuff like that.
I will do my best.
I think year 1 was just getting our feet under us.
I don't think we know.
No?
Year 1.
How do you define year 1?
Year 1 was learning how to make videos.
Yep.
And putting enough out there that there was some semblance of hope that maybe we could do this.
Yeah, you're right. Because I was still working. You were still working.
For most of year, and I'll just say like, okay, let's call year 1 2017 because we started the channel in March of 2017. So if I just look at it like that, I think we quit our jobs. Did we quit our jobs towards the end of 2017?
I don't know.
Or was it in 2018? Where's that video? Scroll.
Okay. Did we do a going full time?
Yeah, we did. You don't remember that?
Yeah. I think
there it is.
Okay.
3 years ago. So let's see what date that video is on. That was in November 2018. So a year and a half in is when we quit our jobs.
I can't believe we worked jobs for a year and a half while doing this.
Yeah, no, it was tapered.
Yeah.
So like,
I did consulting and stuff like that.
You quit your job and you were doing consulting, and then I reduced my hours slightly, and then I quit, and then you stopped your consulting. So it wasn't like all and then nothing. But I think the first year, towards the end of the first year is when you quit and started doing consulting. Yeah. Anyways, the first year was just kind of us like doing like proof of concept. Like, is this enough for us to maybe do this as a job?
Yeah.
That's what I remember year 1.
Both of our parents were still pretty doubtful, yet supportive at that point. They were like,
yeah, I mean, I don't want to speak for them.
Yeah.
I my memory is sort of tied to like what videos we were filming at the time.
Yeah.
I think year 2 was our year of like, we're going to say yes to everything.
Yes.
Was that year 2?
I think I'm trying to remember what year that was, but I remember that year. That's where we did all of the events, all of the like so many collabs and everything.
Yeah, looking at this, that feels.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we have videos behind us.
Yeah. So we have Alex Steele. We did.
Yeah, we did a collab with Bob from I Like to Make Stuff. With
We did
Johnny
Punished
from
Props.
Crafted Workshop. Yeah, Bill and Britt from Punished Props. Like we did so many collabs. You know, David from Make Something.
Yeah.
And we went to a lot of events. Like I saw like our Maker Faire vlog and things. And so we were just like, we will say yes to everything.
Mm-hmm.
And we're just trying to like meet other people in the community and like go to every event we could. We like took on speaker gigs for events just so that we could be there. You know what I mean?
Fine,
Like be there with like the special badge, you know?
I was kind of like, let's just say yes to things and we'll figure it out when we get there. And Caitlin's like,
Oh yeah, no, that makes me, especially like the speaking at events thing.
Yeah.
We did our first speaker event when we had 40,000 subscribers.
Yep.
So, you know, just very much in the beginning. So that's what I remember about year 2.
Was year 3 when we started pushing our content towards a more diverse, like,
year
content
3,
type?
Year 3, I believe, was, playing around with our content to start doing projects that weren't only like practical projects.
The Bob Ross tutorial.
Yeah, we started doing like we did the Bob Ross tutorials. We tried a few vlogs. We tried. Oh, you're scrolling too fast. You gotta go back a little bit too.
Sorry.
We did some silly things like can epoxy cook an egg, but also we started gaming and the podcast.
Gaming and the podcast.
So it was like diversify year.
Yeah. That was right. Year 1 was like start.
Yeah, start.
Year 2 was like say yes to everything. Year 3 was spread out.
And like see kind of what content type we like the best. So we tried so many different things.
Yeah.
Year 4, I think, was year 4 2020? 2021, 2020? I'm getting lost in the math here.
Yeah.
Was year 4. So 2017 is year 1. 2018 is year 2. 2019 is year 3. 2020 is year 4. Yeah.
2017. 2018. I'm just going to write it down in our notes. 2019. Yeah.
Yeah.
2021.
So you skipped 2020.
Oops. I was just testing you.
And thinking of like the years, you know, we didn't start January 1st. We started in March, but that just kind of helps me like picture the year as a whole easier. So year 4 was 2020. And so we obviously couldn't go to events and stuff anymore. Mm-hmm. Year 4 is when we got much more serious about streaming.
We did.
And
yeah, we definitely ramped up there a lot.
It ramped up there a lot. Like, I think live streaming in general got even bigger with everyone stuck at home.
Mm-hmm.
And our stream started growing a lot. We started streaming a lot more and much more consistently.
I think we're doing like 2 to 3 times a week, fairly consistently.
Yeah, probably closer to 3 times a week.
Yeah. Closer to 3 on average.
Pretty consistently. And then also continuing to like add more and more like sillier videos.
That's when we did Cooking with Evan and Katelyn.
Oh yeah. So we were like continuing to diversify. So it was kind of like a continuation. But I remember streaming, and I think that's when we started doing our crafting streams.
Yeah, crafting streams.
So streaming grew out. That's when we became partners, I believe, on Twitch, if I am remembering correctly. I did not prepare. I should have prepared more for some of these specifics. So that's what I remember 2020 being. 2021 was the year of moving.
Yeah, it was the year
of moving. That was our
moving.
goal. We started looking at houses at the very beginning of the year.
Yep.
You know?
And like a year and 3 months later, here we are.
Yeah. So what's the goal for 2022? AKA like what will be looking back on it the 6th year?
Well, I think like one thing that we kind of skipped over though in our 5th year, we did the move. We set up all of the filming
Oh, yeah,
sets.
yeah.
So it's been a big journey to get to where we are here. Like,
Yeah, it wasn't just like moving
not
houses.
just moving, but yeah, setting up all of the filming sets, you know, the garage one.
We have
the,
3 studios in our house.
Yeah.
right
So
now.
if you haven't seen Evan and Katelyn Uncut, that's where the third studio is.
Yeah, some of those videos get edited for Evan and Katelyn too.
Yeah.
I think the other thing, this is probably what you're leaning towards.
Yes.
Towards the end of 2020, once we finally had our feet under us a little bit from the move and appendicitis and all that, we started 2 things.
Yep.
We started doing more for the second channel,
Yep.
and we started bringing on our gaming editors for the second channel and for the main channel.
And we did the Uncut.
Oh yeah, we started that. Yeah, that's kind of a minor thing though. That
I think that's pretty big. I think like starting the Uncut channel and splitting Evan and Katelyn 2 and Evan and Katelyn Uncut, that was a pretty big. We
I'm not saying it wasn't a big decision.
Yeah.
I'm saying from like an outside perspective, it didn't
yeah.
change anything.
Yeah, it didn't really change
We were
much.
doing long streams and shorter edited videos on the second channel, and we just split those into 2 channels.
Yeah, it's true.
So, but our focus on doing more second channel videos and bringing in the editors was a big change. It just didn't happen until the end of 2021.
Yeah. We fit it into the last little bit of our 5th year. But I think
Yeah.
that's one of the biggest changes that we've made. You know, putting a little more time into second channel content, growing that into something that can be a big part of our brand and business and everything like that. Because
And just giving us an outlet for other videos that
Yeah.
we want to try,
yeah,
but we don't want to put on the main channel because it might like drag down the whole channel average or like turn our normal viewers off of the channel because it's so different.
And we know that a lot of you guys wouldn't mind that content being on Evan and Katelyn, the people listening to the podcast.
Yeah.
But you know, numbers don't lie. Like,
Yeah.
you
When
know,
we tried doing cooking videos on the main
or
channel.
the vlog on the main
vlogs,
channel and stuff like
they
that.
got a lot less views.
Yeah.
So we're like, maybe this type of stuff should be separated into a separate channel.
You know, and grouped with a similar type of content.
Exactly.
You know, because we don't want to like, also like if we put out a vlog on Evan and Katelyn and people are like, wow, I love this vlog, I want more. And then they go to that channel and it's all DIYs.
Yeah.
You know, it's good to group like content around like content. For lots of reasons.
Yeah. But yeah, so that was changes, the main changes in year 5, and now we are entering year 6.
Yeah. And I think that like finally at this point, you know, we do have a lot of channels. We have the main, the second, the uncut, the gaming uncut, podcast, clips. Is that all of them?
Well, we have our 2 like personal channels that we're just
Yeah.
sitting on, but those
Yeah.
won't be anything. Yeah, so that's all
I
of
have
them.
some ideas.
No. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. 7. 7, including the main. Those are all the channels. Yes.
Yeah. And I think that like at this point, I feel like if we want to do something and we want to film it, there's a place for it now. You know, like to us, where things go is pretty clear and everything. And I think that that's kind of a really good place to get to and to like feel that, because like me personally, I have this like kind of fear of missing out on an unknown or something like that.
Unknown FOMO.
Unknown FOMO. Yeah. And like, I, you know, for a long time, we've kind of been exploring and experimenting to find what we like, where we want to go and stuff like that. And, you know, there's always been a slight question of, you know, how many channels are we going to end up with? And, you know, how are we going to like fit kind of like what I said in the very beginning. Like, we just kind of want to like live our life, film the parts of it that we think would make for fun videos, and then put it out. And now I feel like we have a place for it all that makes sense to us. Yeah. So I think that's really cool. For 2022, I don't know. I'm pretty cool with where we're at now.
Okay, so here's my 2022 goal. In terms of content, and stuff, like in terms of the channels, I think it's kind of continuing down the path we've been on. I like the types of videos we make. I like the suite of channels we have. I do want to experiment more with second channel videos because that's kind of like the new exciting thing.
Yep. I'm worried what
but-
curse things you're going to come up with.
Yes, I have been enjoying coming up with first things. But I think my main goal is like to be able to take weekends.
Yeah.
Even just one weekend a day, a couple times a month.
Oh no, I'm going to get more aggressive than that. I'm thinking
I want to be practical.
I want to have, by the end of 2022, I want to have at least 3 weekends per month.
Full weekends, like double days.
Oh no, three days off.
Okay. So it's only
Maybe
one
5.
more day than what I was saying.
Maybe 5.
I was saying 2 days off. You're saying
Okay.
3 days off a month?
No, 5.
Oh.
5 a month.
2 to 5 days off a month. And that's not to say like to give us props. We have been able to do more family things this year.
Yep, and more personal things. Yeah,
More personal things.
Like we have made, since moving here, we have since recently made like doctors and dentist appointments, which were overdue.
For the first time in a while.
For sure about. We've been able to do some house stuff, like improving this house that we loved and moved into, and it's kind of been like completely underutilized.
Yeah.
And like just like, well, we haven't like moved in until
I still don't consider us fully like settled in that new house.
no, not at all settled, but like we've been starting to like the progress had been flat, absolutely flat for like 9 months, and now we're moving again.
House progress. Yeah.
And I think that's great.
Yeah. So we have been able to like devote some time to those things that are personal things.
Yeah.
But we haven't. The only time we've taken off just like a day to do whatever we want are on our birthdays.
Yeah, that's true.
And there have been some birthdays in the past where we did not, and we still had to work.
But soon, I mean, we're getting. I think that we have taken some days off though, just because, and we have plans to take more days off.
Have we taken days off when, like this year, aside from our birthdays?
I kind of think of like family time. Maybe I'm like saying family time. We've taken like whole days off.
Yeah. But I guess to me that's kind of different because like when you have an outside force that's like, hey, it's so and so's birthday. We're gonna go. Right. We're gonna spend the day together.
Yeah, that's different.
Can you guys come? We'll look at our calendar and be like, let's move this. Yeah, okay, but we wouldn't feel comfortable enough in our workload to just take that day off ourselves. Like we make it happen and then we like pay for it before and after.
Yeah. Okay, so I came up with during one sleepless night recently, I came up with this analogy, and I don't know if it'll hold up now, saying it during the day to you and everyone.
We're gonna get an Evan Knight thought.
Yeah. The position that we're in right now is strange because most jobs, you are an employee, and then most people have bosses, and as the employee, you want to like do good work, and you want your boss and your job to treat you fairly and not ask too much of you and stuff like that. But also, as kind of like a boss in most companies, bosses are kind of incentivized to get the most out of the employee that they can. You know what I mean? And like we are both bosses and employees. And like the boss role of like my mentality is like, okay, worker Evan, you enjoy the work and you're going to benefit from the work. So just work more. You know what I mean? And like, I think that for the longest time, like worker like self, me, is like, yeah, I do like the job and I will benefit. So I'll work more. And like, it's unlimited work too. because there's no
You can
end.
always do more.
You can always do more.
The idea list is always longer than the idea list increases at a faster rate than we can execute the ideas.
Yeah. So we just have to like keep on trimming
unlimited.
down like like how excited we are about this idea. Like, nah, that's not a 5-star anymore. It's a 4-star or 3-star. But like, I think that's kind of a strange place to be in a way, because most workers can be like, okay, I'm going to go in for the amount of hours I need to be in. I can maybe go a little bit extra sometimes if I want to be like a super good employee or whatever. But like, I need to be protective over my own personal time. And we don't, it's harder for us to have that mentality.
Yeah.
Because like the boss persona of us is like, well, why not just work more? I don't know.
And it's easier to ask someone to work more when that someone is yourself.
Yeah.
Like the amount of time that I expect myself to edit a video, I would never ask our editors to edit in that time.
No.
Never.
No. Yeah, and what does that say?
I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, that's something that we've been struggling with, but we've made progress, and
we have.
I think a significant part of it is we've been having the editors that have been editing our gaming channel content
for years now.
I think we've been working with one of our editors for like over 3 years, maybe 3 years, and that's awesome, and they've gotten to know us and our style in this really organic way, and it was a easier transition to our main channel content, which was awesome, or second channel content. So I think that's
that was a very difficult transition to make, not for the editors, and not in any relation to like their editing skills, but one reason we put off getting editing help on the main channel for so long is in order to do that, you have to X amount of weeks, however long you want to give your editors to edit, you have to produce a video. When we were making videos every other week, it took those full 2 weeks to do everything we needed to do in those 2 weeks. There was no time to also film a video for like a month from now.
Yeah.
And then doing that consistently. So we really, I don't fully know how we did it. We just like by sheer force of will were able to start filming ahead.
Hard days.
There's some hard days. This is like around the holidays last year is when we started pre-filming things instead of just filming the immediate next video. So we had to start like planning ahead and filming those future things and being strategic about a few videos we picked that could actually be filmed ahead in order to get that ball rolling. And then once we started getting editing help, then it did, like after a while, it did start the amount of time I was saving by not editing. Like our time is kind of like collective. There's some tasks that are Katelyn tasks and some that are Evan tasks, but there's also like our joint time. So freeing up me from editing still freed up like our together joint time to work on other stuff.
Yeah.
And so now I do feel like we're at a point where I don't feel nearly as stressed about filming and editing things. Like we're finally far enough ahead that it's not that big of a deal to be filming for the editors much farther in advance.
Yeah. And I'm not sure where we've shared this before. I think we've shared it somewhere, but like one of the biggest stressors about this is we pre-sell spots. And what that means is like, sponsor spots. Yeah. So video spots. And the great thing about that is like we have some idea of our salary in a way, you know what I mean?
And it's less negotiation with sponsors for a full year.
Yeah, so it's less of our time demand.
Yeah, we have a few sponsors, I'm sure you can guess who they are, who we just sign multi-month contracts, and we fill up 6 months to a year at a time, leaving a couple open spots for like if anything spontaneous pops up.
But I think, because of that, we have a set amount of work for the year. And we had, for the longest time, been setting that too high. We had been pre-selling too many spots, which just sets a pace of work that needs to get done that's like was just way too much.
That's true. In our defense, every year that we pre-sold this, we did try reducing. It's just either we wouldn't reduce enough or we would start something else up. So like we reduced significantly, but we started the gaming channel,
And
you know what I mean?
and the podcast.
And the
like,
podcast.
You know,
Or, we reduced significantly and then we started doing other, whatever
Yeah.
it was.
yeah.
And so it's not us purposefully,
Or we finally take on those bigger projects that take so long.
or we moved,
Or we move.
which takes a lot of time.
Yeah, huge amount of time.
And so like we have been trying actively to
Yeah.
reduce what we're like in advance committing
Yeah.
to, but it's hard to gauge, you know?
Yeah, but I think that like this, I think that I can't call it a full success already, but in 2022, we have chosen a much more reasonable thing that's allowed us to add back in spots.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
multiple times we've like, we committed to less because I've always said we can always add. We can
Yeah.
always add
More spots.
more spots.
More videos.
But taking away is so hard. We've never done it.
I think we
Once something fell through once.
No, we moved. When we moved, we were able to push things.
Oh yeah, we pushed.
But that we didn't actually take a spot away. We just like pushed everything by a month.
Yeah.
And then it kind of hit a place where it couldn't be pushed any farther, and then that was a busy month.
Yeah.
And then we did the same thing when you got appendicitis.
Yeah, we
just
moved.
moved things.
Yeah. But yeah, we have
And had to deal with the repercussions later.
we're the type of people who like have a hard time breaking commitments.
Well, it's like contract commitments.
Contracts. Yeah, contracts.
Yeah, it's
no,
contractual.
there are clauses in there we could have
I know.
canceled.
Yeah, I know.
But that's I don't know. We don't want to do that.
Yeah.
So I don't fully know where I was going with that. Yeah, but I think
just looking at us trying to make changes in 2022 and how so far
it's been great.
it's been great. That's
And
why
it's-
we have been able to like see family more and like work on the house more just in these past few months.
And kind of like just do the ideas we're most excited about, whether that's a main channel or if it's a second channel. Because sometimes what we really want to do is just a second channel video.
Sometimes, yeah.
It's just like that's just like what we want to do, and it's great following through with what we just really want to do. And I gotta say sometimes the podcast wasn't at the highest for the longest time. I mean, do we want to talk about the podcast?
I mean, I've like said this in passing a few times, but it's just there's only so many hours in the day, and I think the main thing that has increased has been our second channel stuff.
Yep.
And something else has to go down. So gaming went down a little bit. Main went down a smidge, and podcast went down. And part of that is because we don't. With main, we can only reduce the schedule like every 6 months to a year.
Yeah.
With gaming, I know not everyone watches on Twitch. A lot of people just watch on YouTube, but on Twitch we have subscribers and they're like paying monthly, assuming that we're going to be streaming. Like there's like a minimum amount we want to do.
Yeah.
And also the gaming channel is really like our break.
Yeah.
Of the work stuff we do. It's our break. Like we really enjoy being able to play like a minimum amount of games any given week.
Well, I also think that,
whereas
like,
the podcast,
yeah.
There's no commitment to sponsors. There's no like, people paying a monthly fee for it.
Well, I also think like I was thinking about this a little bit earlier. I didn't discuss it with you so much, but I mean, when I was looking at how many videos we've made, we've made more supporter videos, that's YouTube members and Patreon supporters, than main channel.
Oh, yeah.
We've made 220 supporter videos, like,
That's crazy.
and I think that a lot of the life updates, a lot of the behind the scenes on projects, a lot of that stuff.
It all goes into supporter videos.
It all goes into supporter videos.
Yeah.
And I think that that's why, like, when we think about podcasts, we need to come up with something like bigger, extra, like, because we still want this to be good content for you guys. And
or something very like topical based.
Yeah.
Because we can't just, the stuff that we are sharing, with people on Patreon or YouTube members, it kind of like loses its specialness if we just share the exact same stuff in the podcast.
Yeah. Yeah. And also, I mean, it's kind of nice with the supporter videos and content. Like, I'm just very casual and relaxed about it for some reason.
Yeah, we don't need to come up with like a title.
A title and a thumbnail
like
and stuff like that. It's like, those are like the super subscribers. And for some reason, I don't know, I don't feel as much pressure on that side of things. And where like podcasts, I still feel some of that pressure.
Come up with a good topic.
Yeah.
Oops, sorry. I moved my mic away from my
And
head.
maybe it's just because, like, podcasts, that's like a public facing number or something like that, or like, I don't know, or
maybe I think it's more like, I think it's more about we put a lot of the random little life updates into a type of content already, and the two are mutually exclusive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Even like, like we listen to some maker podcasts, like and they talk about what they're making that week.
Every time I have this like curse. Every time you say some, I want to say body.
Body.
It's like it happens all the time.
Thank you for resisting, but then explaining anyway.
Yeah, I just had to explain why I was just like struggling not to laugh. Okay, we listen to a lot of maker podcasts.
But yeah, and a common topic is like, what are you working on? Or like, how'd your project go?
Yeah.
We talk about that in our after shows.
Yeah. But also,
that's where we write down all the things we want to talk about in the after show, and we do it all there.
But I think another difficulty of the podcast is, a lot of podcasts are people who don't live with each other.
That's true. So they can be like,
catching up,
how's life
and
been
like
this
life
week?
catch up, and just like kind of some of that. And I think that, like, with Katelyn and I, there's no secrets. There's nothing that we don't talk about, which I love. But if we sat down for a podcast, the only way we could kind of share some of those conversations with y'all is to like rehash them. It's hard.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Because we've already like talked about everything.
Yeah, and it's a little bit less like, I don't know, not genuine. It's like, it's not spontaneous, because everything that we'd want to talk about, we've already talked about previously, like just us.
Yeah. That's a good point.
So I think that, like, I'm super glad that we have the podcast channel.
Me too.
I'm really happy that we have all of our past episodes, and I love that we have it for times where we want to talk in this longer form with our viewers and supporters and everything like that. And
I do enjoy this. This is nice.
This is nice. I think that, like, if we came up with like reoccurring show concept, or like,
which we have done in the past. But,
yeah. Something that was like, they didn't like take a ton of time to prep or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that the future of the podcast isn't fully known right now, but I'm glad we have it. And, I certainly see us creating more episodes in the future. I'm just not sure when.
I think it's just going to be
it's not going to be a regular schedule. It's going to be random.
Yeah, I think it's just going to be random. But look, we're doing one.
We're doing one.
Where we're
Congratulations.
not sick.
Congratulations.
Yes.
Yeah. It's not an update on a big update on our health, or like.
Yeah. Or moving.
Moving. Yeah. which the last, I don't know, 3 were?
At least.
Yeah. It was, COVID, appendicitis, moving.
House.
Moving.
Ice storm.
And then ice storm.
Just,
just living a nice, quiet, easy life.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe we should do a Q&A or something.
Yeah, we can do a Q&A.
Yeah. Oh, we'll figure it out. But I think that brings us to the end of the podcast.
You know what? What's a weird thought?
What's that?
We've been doing YouTube longer than any of our past jobs.
Wow.
Not like all of our past jobs continued.
Yeah.
or combined, I mean, but like any individual past job. Isn't that weird? So if you're still
cool.
not feeling legit, just think about that.
Yeah. But before we go, we need to do Thing of the Week. Yeah. I have a few things of the week.
I see that.
My first is going to be an admission to I've been using a fanny pack, like legit all the time.
All the time.
You know, it's just like you just want to grab all of the stuff that you want.
Yeah, you don't always want all that stuff in your pockets.
I know, and like you know,
when it's in pockets, you got to take it out and put it back in.
Yeah, and it's not just my phone or wallet or keys. I also want to bring like my water flavor packets,
yeah,
or
lemon,
like
your True Lemon packets.
some like nose medication, or like some
allergy eye drops.
Allergy eye drops. I have a few spare Band-Aids and stuff in there too. A little like pen knife. I should add the pen knife. I'm gonna add that too
to your Thing of the Week list.
My Thing of the Week.
I just need to think of some more things for me.
You don't need to. I'm just gonna put a whole bunch in here because I'm not sure when the next podcast is gonna be. So my fanny pack was actually a gift from your parents.
From my mom. Yeah,
from your mom, and it's an REI Trail 2 waist pack.
A waist pack.
And
how do you like wearing it more? Do you like the crossbody or the around the waist?
It depends on the situation. Sometimes I like around the waist. Sometimes I like crossbody.
Yeah.
But it's good that it's it's not just a waist pack. It's a crossbody pack too.
Yeah.
But it's a good size. It's held up well. The zippers are good. So I'll put it in the description. But any fanny pack. Let's just get more people out there with fanny packs so I don't feel lonely.
Man. Fanny packs are cool again.
Yeah, and the other one is gonna be a little Swiss Army knife. It's interesting. I've always loved like multi-tools, and for the longest time I had these big multi-tools, and then they got smaller, and then they got smaller, and now it's just like the little classic. It has scissors, it has a knife, it has a file screwdriver, it has like a toothpick and tweezers and stuff, and like that's it. And honestly, I haven't really missed any of the bigger functions. Like that's mainly all I need. So
yeah.
I think I'm happy with that as my like main EDC item.
Wow.
Yeah.
We'll see if you feel that way around Christmas still when you're like, what do I want?
For now, for
now.
For 3 or 4 months, it's been my favorite. And
since Christmas.
Since Christmas
when you got it. Did you get 2?
I got 2. Yeah. More things. I'm just going to throw them out there.
Go
One
for
thing
it.
I don't think we've
in
talked
the back
about.
of my head, I'm trying to think to see if I have any others.
A lot of people like noise generators at night. We use one that's a fan, an actual physical fan that spins around and makes noise. So I'll link that in the description.
The dome.
The dome.
Dome.
So and good. It's cool.
I don't know. I honestly, I'm like, how did we sleep before? Because now if we don't have it, and that is one of the risks. People
that's
say
one of the risks.
You kind of get addicted to it. But I'm like, how did we both like live in dorms and not have a noisemaker? I don't get it. I feel like I
think we just sleep worse now.
Like,
we need a more controlled. We need like a better bed, better pillows, a quiet environment.
I just be able to like
sometimes some melatonin. We need any help we can get to sleep.
I think so. It's so necessary now.
But as a backup, sometimes, like Katelyn said, if we don't have our usual physical noise maker, which is kind of big, you need to plug it into a wall, and it actually uses a decent amount of, power to some degree. So it's not like you can run it off of USB or anything because it's a motorized fan. I've been on a search for a backup. I downloaded so many apps, and then I just like sat there and listened to them to see if I could find the moment where they repeat. Because like, I don't know about you guys, but I have the type of mind where I will search for a pattern incessantly, and I will try to find it, and I most of the time do.
Yes.
And it really annoys me. So most noise generator apps I can't use because there's always a loop. Yeah. But I recently found out about like frequency-based noise generators like white noise, pink noise, brown noise. Brown noise is the best noise, even though it sounds weird.
I just think of the
the fart noise, yeah.
The noise that makes you poop your pants.
Yep. But I found this like brown noise generator that also has RNG, random number generator, like random noise generator built in. So in addition to this brown noise that it's making, it adds natural randomized variations into it that are like algorithmic mathematical based. And I just love that.
Yeah.
And I think it's really cool.
It's actually random.
It's actually random. So there is no repeat. And I love it. So I'll put that. And that's the free alternative if you don't want to buy the fan, or if you want to travel with it.
Yeah, I was going to say the portable alternative.
Yeah.
It's just on your phone.
This is on your phone. And I think it uses less power too and everything. So I think it's pretty cool. So those are all of my...
I only have one thing, and I already shared it during a stream, because stream was asking about thing of the week. So I've been trying...
Hey, you can do another thing of the week.
No, that's lame. That's self-promotion.
That's lame.
Well, no, they're not lame, but it's self-promotion. Evan just pulled over our charms. But we don't even know when this is coming out. The charms are only available till the end of March.
Okay.
If you want a charm, we have gold charms. We'll link to that. I'll hold them up.
Okay.
We have a make, fail, and a words are hard. And then Evan has a supervisor hugging a heart.
Yeah, you might only have days
charms
left at this point.
Yeah, I wasn't going to mention them because they are not sold after March.
Yeah.
Here's my thing of the week. I am someone... You know how, like, if you leave the house and you don't have your phone on you, you're like, oh my gosh, I feel naked. I don't have my phone. I am like that if I don't have lip balm. I need something on my lips.
I was like, should I go for it?
I need something on my lips at all times. And if I do and if I don't have it, I start getting like really anxious. Like I'm just like so aware of how dry my lips are. Like
can you feel them chapping right now?
Yes, I can, and I'm about to use my thing of the week. So I've tried a bunch of different like chapsticks and lip balms and everything, and my favorite thing is Aquaphor. Aquaphor?
I don't know.
I'm not sure if I'm saying it right. It's kind of like Vaseline, but
better.
Better? I think it's different. I don't know if it's like slightly different like proportions of things, but it's like kind of like Vaseline.
Yeah.
It stays on. It's like the thing that stays on the longest.
Now I need it.
And I used to just get like the big tub of it, and I would like transfer some to a little smaller, portable tub like you would have lip balm in. But Evan discovered there are little
travel size
little
ones.
Squeezy travel bottles. Yeah, block our faces. Little squeezy travel bottles. Well, I'm trying to hold it up to the camera.
Yeah.
They're so good.
They're so good.
You don't have to get your finger all sticky.
I have one in my fanny pack.
Yeah. I have them everywhere now. They're just sprinkled throughout the house. They're so good. Having it in the travel pack is so much better than like me trying to like scoop the stuff out of the big tub into the little tub and then like, going in with my finger.
And they last a long time.
Yeah, the little tubes last a really long time.
So long. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's my thing of the week. I was trying to think if I could think of anything else while you were talking, but I couldn't think of any other things. But this is a good one.
All right, guys. Hope you're having a great day, and we'll look forward to seeing you in the next video. It probably won't be a podcast, though. Bye.